Now it's time for Case or No Case. Joining me, Lou Cairo from GWC Injury Attorneys. Lou, thanks for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
All right,
Christmas
we got
to
a
you.
scenario which we got to determine if it's a case or a no case. You know the rules, folks. And we're going to be putting Felicia and Amy, my wonderful co-hosts, to the test to see who can answer the questions right today. So we're going to kind of focus on the legalization of marijuana. A lot of hurdles where everyone's going through to figure this things out. A lot of confusion out there too, right?
It's very timely, and I don't know how much confusion there is, but there's going to be a lot more confusion when I'm done with this little 5-minute segment. I have a feeling. We'll see.
All right.
I mean, everyone knows that marijuana in Illinois is going to be legal come January 1, right?
Right.
So we're going to give a little scenario, and we're going to talk about legal marijuana. So say it's in February, March, whatever it is.
Right.
Guy's working on the job, construction workers, doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Everything's going fine, but he slips and he falls and he gets injured, and everything's working fine. He gives notice like you're supposed to do right away. He gets a lawyer, he files his case, and the other side orders the medical records. And a month into the case, they get the medical records and they go, oh, this guy tested positive for marijuana. They immediately stop his weekly benefits. They cut off his medical benefits, and they say, your case is denied. Of course, his lawyer goes, hey, marijuana is legal, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, if someone has legal marijuana in their system and they have a legitimate workers' compensation injury on the job, do they have a legitimate workers' comp case that they can prevail on, or will they have no case?
Case or no case?
So I want to say case, but I guess that's the issue with marijuana is we can't measure how much is in the system because that's not how it works, right? How much THC is in
No,
your
you
blood?
can measure. You can measure the levels, the THC
levels?
right?
Right.
No,
And
it's
my
not
also
like
confusion-
alcohol where you
It's
can.
not. I don't think it's like alcohol where
You're right,
you could, because
Felicia.
it could stay in your system for like months, right?
Right.
Weeks.
So here's the
I don't
problem. By the way, you're both wrong.
But I'm gonna call you.
The presumption of the law, and this is where the problem comes in. The law says that if you have drugs or alcohol, now alcohol is legal, right?
Right.
But if you have drugs or alcohol in your system, under the workers' compensation laws, the presumption is that the drugs or the alcohol had something to do with causing your accident. Therefore, you have no case at all, right?
No
And
case.
that's
Nothing.
below the legal limit,
Well,
which we don't have.
here's the thing. In alcohol, you know what the legal limit is for
Right.
driving a car, but that's under the criminal penal code. That's not for workers' compensation. Big difference.
Yeah.
But with
Okay.
alcohol, you can measure and say, well, it's 0.02. That means, so he had one beer yesterday at dinner, and now this afternoon he has an accident. It has no bearing. The problem with marijuana, if you ingest an edible or you smoke dope, and you could do it this morning, or you did it 30 days ago, your report's going to come up positive for cannabis.
Interesting.
It doesn't tell you when, it
level?
doesn't tell you how much, and that's part of the issue here. So in workers' comp settings, someone who's totally legal, it could have been you were on vacation in Colorado last month, or it could be it's legal in Illinois and you've ingested it, you smoked in a legal setting, and you're not high, it says no impact at all, it's 30 days later,
Right.
but you test positive.
So what are they doing with the laws then to change that?
Well, the problem is the technology hasn't caught up with the law. You know, when the law. Well, let's give the next scenario. Then
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a change in the law.
Okay.
Yeah, what about
Very
drug
recent.
testing in general at workplace? I imagine that's
Yeah.
into the next topic.
Yep,
too, yeah.
that's the next step. So here's the next topic. You have a worker, John.
Me.
Who's a stellar employee,
Thank
shows up for work on time, does a fantastic job. He's not harassing the beautiful woman that he's working with. That's the guest. That's the guest job.
Only when we ask.
So John has not this John, but just this gentleman
Hey,
has
old John.
a random testing. An employer has a zero tolerance drug policy, and they just do random testing. And John had ingested THC, whether it's an edible, smoking a joint. 30 days ago, John comes up positive, and John gets fired on the spot. They say, John, you're a great employee. We love you. You're fantastic, but you're getting fired because you have tested positive for marijuana. John said, it was 30 days ago when I was on vacation. It was a Saturday. It wasn't even on a work day. Sorry, you got to get fired. Well, John files a lawsuit for discrimination. Say, well, wait a minute. This is improper termination. You can't terminate me for doing something legal. It's different than workers' comp because the workers' comp laws have a specific provision for that.
Oh, that was the asterisk.
So the question is, does he have a case in terms of being able to sue for wrongful termination, or does he have no case?
Oh, that comes down to whether it's legal
I
to
was
still.
going to say no case, but
Well,
you gave that
criminal,
little note in there.
Because you were talking
I don't
about
know.
criminal or workers' comp. So
Yeah.
Well, it's not criminal.
Oh, it's not criminal,
workers'
sorry.
comp. This is just regular employment law.
Yeah.
And when the laws were originally passed to legalized marijuana, he had a perfectly good case. You can't fire a guy for ingesting legal marijuana. But then they did an amendment because the employers in Illinois went crazy and said, we don't want it. Nope, sorry, graphics are wrong. It's no case.
No case.
No case.
They're right. They're perfect.
That guy's Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
No, the problem is this employer said, wait a minute, and I'm one of those employers. I don't want to have my employees high on dope. I mean, if you say...
For certain profession, that certainly makes sense,
Sure,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm a bus driver.
First
I'm a
responders.
lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm a whatever. I'm a guy that's working on a assembly line, and I want whatever you're putting together, I want it to be put together properly. I don't want to have parts being rejected if I'm the boss, right? So
I've never like smoked before. Can you do it like the night before at dinner or something, and then does it not wear off the next day?
No, not the THC, right?
Really?
It will be.
But will you still be high, like having an
No, but
Yeah.
here's the problem. As an employer, random drug testing, I test you and you come positive and you go, oh no, Lou, that's from a month ago. And I'm like, yeah, that's what the guy said who came in here with glassy eyes and Dorito bags, and he's chucking on eating Doritos and drinking, Red Bulls because he's higher than a kite. You both test positive. So the employers went crazy, and the legislature changed. They just did an amendment last month.
Lou, I think it's at the end of the day, it's all confusing. They need to call you to find out whether they got one or not, right?
Yeah. The problem is a lot of good people are going to be following the law.
Yeah.
They're going to get fired, and they're going to have no recourse. They're going to get really seriously injured on workers' comp cases, and they're going to have no recourse.
Yeah.
And that's just, we've got a law that is going to generate a lot of tax funds, and a lot of billionaires are going to be created owning these dispensaries, and a lot of good, hardworking people are going to get screwed as a result of this when they get hurt.
So
Lou,
interesting.
Yeah, thanks for stopping on by, for breaking us these scenarios down. For more information, just head to gwclaw.com. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,